Hello, hello, hello. This is Attorney Mike Gravel coming to you from Chicago. As usual, I just tried this. It wasn't working. I don't know why. I turned it on. There was nobody on. I don't know if it's working now. Is it working? Can you see me? Thank you, David. All right. All right. I got stuff. I got a long hearing from Zach, but I was going to have a little warm up from Brecken. It's Judge Perkins. Let's see if it works this time.
This is the city of Detroit versus Charlie Larkins Jr. Case number SP 187-3088. Counts 1 and counts 2. SP 187-31431. Appearance for the record, please.
Sherika Harris, on behalf of Mr. Larkins, please state your name for the record.
Charlie Larkins, you got to unmute yourself, sir. Mr. Larkins, unmute yourself, please. You have to unmute yourself. You did it earlier. Same thing. I'm sending you that prompt to unmute yourself. There we go.
Okay, Charlie Larkins Jr.
All right. Ms. Harris is going to attempt to get you an updated offer, Mr. Larkins. And if you don't like the offer, you have an absolute right to a trial. I'm going to put you in a breakout room with her. You let us know what you want to do when you come out, okay?
Okay.
All right. See the prompt. Join that room. We'll pass the matter. All right. Let's go back on the record with Mr. Larkins. Mr. Larkins, I've given you an opportunity to speak to counsel. Counsel, what's your client want to do?
Your Honor, it's my understanding he's going to enter a guilty plea to failing to display a valid license with the remaining matters dismissed.
That's what you want to do, sir?
Yes.
Do you plan on driving anymore?
Right now, I've been trying to get some license. I got too old now, but I guess
Do you plan on driving anymore?
no, not really.
All right, raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, whole truth,
Okay.
nothing but?
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. Do you understand the maximum
Oh, he's cute.
possible penalty for this offense is 93 days in jail and or $500 in fines?
Oh, I thought you just pay a fine. No, I didn't know no 93 days in jail.
You didn't know that was 93-day misdemeanor, did you?
No, I did not.
Well,
You
I'm
don't remember
asking
me
you-
going over your rights, Mr. Larkins, where I told you that, but then I answered your question and told you how much the judge would probably charge you?
Oh, I remember you telling me how much you would charge, man. But
That's all he wanted to
Okay,
hear.
I-
He didn't want to hear nothing
Put him in. Ring up Grandpa for 93 days. He thinks this is a joke.
about the 93 days.
Well, you right.
That's what he wanted to hear.
You're right.
But I'm just asking you, do you know that's the maximum possible penalty for that offense?
No, I did not know that. Okay.
Do you know it
I
now?
heard her say something like that. Okay.
Do you know it? Do you understand that now?
Yeah, I understand that now.
All right. Do you understand that you have an absolute right to a trial?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
You understand
Okay. I have a right to a trial.
Okay. And do you understand? Miss Harris went over some other rights with you, did she not?
Yes, she did.
And did you understand
well,
all those? Did you understand
Yeah,
all those
the
other
one-
rights?
Okay. Like,
Thank you.
yes.
We don't have. Did you understood all the other rights? Didn't you?
Yes, yes, sir.
And did you have any questions about those rights?
No.
And you know, by taking this deal, you're going to give those rights up. Do you understand that?
Yes, I know that.
And has anybody offered you anything other than what's been stated in the record?
No.
For some
sir.
reason, I got the feeling that I'm going to see Mr. Larkins driving again. I just had that feeling.
Well, I've been trying to get some license, but I don't know why they saying that I can't get none. I don't understand it. I just figured that it was because of my age. I guess I don't know.
Well, I don't know if it's because your age or because your driving record, because you don't follow the rules. If you take this deal, it's going to push you back even more.
Just for the
So
record,
if I take
I
the
advise
deal, they're
that
gonna
Your
set me
Honor.
back. Okay, then I'll go to court.
What's he want to do? Go back in the breakout room and speak to him again. See
Your
what he
Honor,
wants to do.
I advised and told him he should set it for trial. He wanted to get it over with. I believe now he indicates he would like a trial date.
Yep, I would like a trial date.
All right, trial date is going to be May the 8th. May the 8th at 9 a.m. You don't have
9 a.m.
anything to lose. May the 8th at 9 a.m.
Okay.
Go try to get your license before you come back. See what they say.
Okay.
Best of luck to you and good luck to you. Hopefully you can get the license.
Okay then.
He's
Thank
not getting
you.
a license. There's no way.
All right. Johnny Gaines. Is Johnny Gaines back? He didn't, and an attorney never showed back up. Mr. Edward Little was super late as well.
Shit.
All right, hi. We still hear you, Mr. Larkins.
Oh, sorry. Let me turn the thing off.
I'll put you out.
Person counsel Guadalupe Castillo, page 9, number 21.
In the matter of Juanita Becerra, cause number 2026 PB 611L2, court marks Mr. Castillo present in person. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Ms. Aldana.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Court marks you present. You're participating by video conference. Sandra Cardona, are you present? Court marks Ms. Cardona not present. Nora Villarreal, are you present? She's present. The court has seen a hand in the audience section. Court marks Ms. Villarreal present in person. Mr. Castillo, Ms. Aldana, what is the announcement?
Judge, we're ready to proceed. It's a motion in limine. I believe it's contested. I haven't received a response nor exhibits filed. We did file our exhibits, but
Into case center?
yes, it's in the case.
Ms. Aldana?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm asking for a short reset. I saw yesterday that Mr. Guadalupe Castillo filed several documents into case line. Yesterday, we were closed for Easter Monday, so I have not had a chance to discuss with my client. So we're asking for a short reset, maybe a week, if the court is available to hear us then.
Response, if any?
Well, Judge, I think this case was filed in January, and the motion that we filed was filed at least 30 days ago. My
Let me
understanding.
just ask the clerk's office, is there a written motion for continuance?
No, Your Honor.
It's not considered. So, Ms. Aldana, just confer with Mr. Castillo before the court calls this case. This will be the second contested motion on the court's docket today.
Really quick, I believe that Mr. Castillo represented my client in another hearing, in another case, and I just wanted to confirm with Mr. Castillo Because
Well, why don't you confirm with him as you confer, and that way you can come back with definitive position. So stand by, and this will be the second contested matter on today's docket. Stand by, please. Good afternoon. Court is back in session. We are on the record. We'll begin with the rest of the contested cases. There are 3 cases remaining. The next case, case number 2 on the contested docket, is page 9, case 21, in the matter of Juanita Becerra, cause number 2026, PV 611L2. Court marks Mr. Guadalupe Castillo present in person, Ms. Melissa Saldana present by video conference. They are the lawyers in the case. Sandra Cardona and Nora Villarreal are both present in person. Ms. Saldana, Mr. Castillo, is there an announcement?
we're ready to proceed.
We're ready, Judge.
All right. This is a motion in limine and motion dismissed for lack of standing. This was filed by Mr. Castillo. Actually, court marks Ms. Sandra Cardona present and participating by video conference. That's the only change. All right, Mr. Castillo, who is your first witness?
Judge, I call Sandra Cardona as my first witness, as an adverse witness.
May we have Counsel Castillo put the mic closer to him, please?
Announcement one more time, Mr. Castillo.
Why does she have the mask on? I want her to lose right now. That's all I need to see. I know nothing about this case. I don't know what it's about. Nothing. But the mask has to lose.
Castillo?
Judge, we call Sandra Cardona as our first witness, as an adverse witness.
Ms. Cardona. Well, let me ask you this. Are you Sandra Cardona?
Hello, yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Cardona, tell the court what place or location you are joining us from.
I'm at the attorney's office, Melissa Saldana on Victoria Street.
And I'm going to ask this question, and I don't mean to pry into your personal affairs or any medical conditions that you have, but you're about to be called to testify, and in order for the court to gauge many things, including your veracity, it's going to be necessary that I see your full face. Is there any?
Oh,
Love
no, that's fine.
Okay, very well. Ms. Cardona.
Okay, so if you didn't need it, why did you have it on?
Would you, and I just need to ask this, will that cause any discomfort or cause any medical situation to occur if you remove your mask?
Yes, it will.
What can happen?
Well, I have a cold.
Oh, I see. But you're not going to be in any personal risk or danger.
Eat a bag
No,
of
not
dicks.
to me.
I can't deal with it.
Ms. Cardona, would you raise your right hand?
Sorry.
Yes,
Solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you will give in this class will be the truth, so help you God?
yes, I do.
You may lower your hand. Mr. Castillo, go ahead.
Please state your full name for the record.
Sandra Cardona.
Ms. Cardona, you are the applicant seeking guardianship for your mother, Juanita Becerra. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And you are for one of the daughters. The other one is Nora Villarreal, who is the movement in this motion, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, on March 29, 2022, Mrs. Becerra, your mom.
Objection leading.
Let me hear the full question, and then I'll hear a full objection, Mr. Castillo.
Well, Judge, to begin with, I haven't asked the question.
Right.
Secondly, more importantly, she's an adverse witness. I've called her as an adverse witness, so I can lead under the rules.
Understood. Go ahead.
On March 29, 2022, your mom, Juanita Becerra, for whom you're seeking a guardianship here, sued you in the 49th District Court, correct?
Correct.
And that was in cause number 2022 CBG 000374D1, Juanita Becerra versus Sandra Ramirez Cardona. Do you recall that?
On or about.
Okay. And what was your mother suing you for?
Well, I really don't know because at that point in time, I believe my mother was, I think she had been your client, or I don't know if you were still representing her. And my mother had dementia in 22. She had already been diagnosed in 21, the latter of 21. So I want to say that you were representing her. So I really don't know who put in the lawsuit. In all honesty, I don't know.
Judge, can we ask the court to show the exhibit that we have filed? It's B1 in the case file.
Court staff will prompt B1. It is prompted.
Ms. Cardona, do you see the plaintiff's original petition, which is labeled B1 on the screen?
Yes, I do.
Okay, now that's a petition that your mom filed against you, correct?
Mr. Castillo, like I said, I don't know who filed it because my mother had dementia at that time. And if my memory doesn't cheat me, I believe you were representing her.
Could we
So
ask,
again, Mr. Castillo, my answer remains the same. I don't know.
Judge, could we ask the court to scroll down to B3?
Court staff will scroll to B3.
Do you see the document in front of you, Ms. Cardona?
Yes, I do.
Okay. What is the name of the attorney that appears on that page? Look at the bottom.
Hello?
Who is the attorney that appears on that page where it says respectfully submitted? Who does it say?
Oh, that Mr. Juan Hernandez.
So Juan Hernandez was the attorney for your mother at that time, suing you, correct?
Like I said, Mr. Castillo, my answer remains the same. I don't know who put in the lawsuit, if it was another individual or if it was my mother, because my mother has had dementia since 21. She's been diagnosed with dementia since 2021, Mr. Castillo. Therefore, my answer remains the same. I would not be able to tell you. But that I had to appear in court, yes, I did, sir. Who put?
I can't stand her. She's dishonest. You want to say, I think it's all nonsense. She had dementia at the time. She couldn't do that. That's one thing. But pretending you don't know who is representing her and what was going on when you got served with this thing is absolute nonsense. She's already absolutely destroyed her credibility with me. I don't even know where this thing's going. But this one I can't stand already.
The lawsuit, I cannot answer that.
Okay, well, the document is a certified copy of the plaintiff's original petition. And at this time, Judge, we ask that it be admitted into evidence.
Any objection, Ms. Aldana?
No objection.
Submit it without objection.
In this lawsuit, Ms. Cardona, your mother is saying that on or about September 6, 2020, you asked her to sign a document titled Texas General Warranty Gift Deed, wherein she conveyed her interest in her residence at Amber Avenue, Laredo, Texas, to you. Do you recall?
So you're trying to steal property from your mother after the time that you claim she has dementia. This didn't work out well for you, did it?
That she executed a document to you on a gift deed?
I believe so, on or about, that is correct. The same time she signed two other documents, one to Nora Villarreal and one to Alexandra Becerra. As where Nora Villarreal used to live. That is correct. Yes. My mother did sign 3 affidavits, one for myself, one for Nora Villarreal, and one for Alexander Becerra on the same date. That is correct. And that was signed at 317 Farrell at Nora Villarreal's house.
Object to non-responsive answer.
Sustained.
Ms. Cardona, in this petition filed against you, your mom also says that on or about February 7, 2022, you forcibly evicted her from her residence. Do you recall that?
No, I don't recall that. What I do recall, Mr. Castillo, is I went to Judge.
Oh my God, this is getting epically bad. She forcibly evicted her mother and then tried to sham a conveyance of her property to herself. Pure evil.
Salinas.
Objection, Judge, non-responsive.
Sustained.
Ms. Cardona, I'm going to direct you to and ask the court to show B4 of the exhibit.
Court staff will prompt before.
Looking at B4, Ms. Cardona, that is a verification to the petition. Do you recognize the signature of the verification below?
Yes,
That's your mom, right?
that is my mother. Yes, Juanita Becerra. That is correct.
Okay, and she is swearing to this petition, saying that she has personal knowledge of all the facts stated in the plaintiff's original petition and that all such facts are true and correct. You read that?
Yes, I do.
So are you saying that your mom was not correct when she swore to those facts?
Well, no, what I'm saying, Mr. Castillo, that my mother had been diagnosed with dementia. And I believe the original petition that I got Alejandro Becerra and Marta Saldívar evicted, nowhere in that paper by Judge Salinas' office does it have my mother's name on it. It has 2 names, Mr. Castillo, which is Alexander Becerra and Marta Saldívar. That I do recall. But in no way, shape, or form is my mother's name on there.
So the document speaks for itself, right, Ms. Cardona?
But the document that I have from the Judge Salinas, you are correct, Mr. Castillo. It speaks for itself. It has 2 names on it, which is Alejandro Becerra and Marta Saldívar. Again, my mother's name, Juanita, and Becerra's name is not on there.
Objection, Judge, non-responsive. If we could ask the witness, Judge, to just answer the question, not to expand and give out more.
Sustained. Ms. Cardona, I'm going to ask that you pause for 2 seconds after the question is asked. Answer that question. I know that there's a lot of things to tell the court, but your lawyer will be given a chance to ask you questions so that you can tell your side of the story from your perspective. With that in mind, sustained, Mr. Castillo.
I understand, Judge. I apologize.
Sorry.
Now, I'll ask the court staff, Judge, to get B7 out of the file.
Court staff will prompt.
Okay. Ms. Cardona, do you see the document that says 3-day eviction notice?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Is that your signature below?
Yes, it is.
And there's another signature there. Whose signature is that?
That is my husband.
Okay. and that's dated February 7, 2022, correct?
That is correct. That's what I see here.
Okay. And your mom, in her petition, said that on February 7, 2022, you evicted her from her residence, correct?
Your Honor, I'm going to object. I have not seen in the petition about the forcible detainer. If Mr. Castillo could refer us to that section in the petition.
Judge,
Pardon me, crystallize or clarify the objection?
Facts not in evidence.
Response?
yes, it is. It refers to the plaintiff's original petition, which I just read to her. On or about February 7, 2022, defendant forcibly evicted plaintiff from her residence. And I also asked her.
Overruled, Ms. Cardona, you may answer.
I'm
I'm sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Ms.
did I evict my mother? No. No,
Okay.
I did not evict my mother on February of the date that's on there. I can no longer see it, but no, I did not. I have never evicted my mother. No, that is incorrect information. Like I said, two names were on there, Alexandra Becerra and Marta Saldívar.
I'll ask the court to.
Well, now I know why she wanted the mask on. She's up to no good. She knows it. She wants to cover her face. She's ashamed of her own actions. She knows she's full of crap. There are really two types that wear masks. We've got the I love a good government overstepping their bounds and telling me what to do. I just can't be submissive enough to an out of control government. Or I'm ashamed of myself and I don't want people to see my identity. It's one of those two things. It's never a good sign. Or there's a third, an extremely small sliver of people who actually need it, but they don't wear those kinds of masks. They wear real masks.
Show the witness B8.
Court staff will prompt.
Do you see B8 in front of you?
Your Honor, I'm going to object the photo doesn't have a date. It doesn't have a location.
You are right, but it's not being offered into evidence, Mr. Castillo.
Yes, Judge, it's not being offered yet. I need to authenticate it, qualify her as to her knowledge of this photograph.
Go ahead.
Ms. Cardona,
Yes.
do you see yourself in that picture?
No, I don't.
That's not you standing next to
No, that is not me.
Who's the person next to that person? Do you know that person?
No, I would not be able to tell you, Mr. Castillo, but that person looks pretty thin, and I can tell you that's not me.
Okay.
And I don't know who the other individual is. No, I don't. But I can tell you that that is not me.
You recall it on October 7, 2022, or shortly thereafter, there was a truck, a mover's truck, going to your mom's house to get all her things out of the house.
Do I recall what?
Being present.
The attorney has it together. I mean, he first makes her commit to I didn't have her evicted, and that before he pulls out the picture of her standing next to the moving truck.
When there was a truck
Well done.
at your mom's house to remove the belongings that belonged to your mom.
I don't know, Mr. Castillo, because I never removed anything from my mother's house.
Yes, you do know, you big fat freaking liar. You're an absolute liar. You know exactly what's going on, and you want to say things like I didn't move, meaning I physically didn't pick up the couch, which I believe because you're too lazy to do actual work. You're too busy trying to defraud your elderly mother.
From Amber. So I don't know who you would have to ask on that, but that I removed something, no, I did not.
Were the belongings of Mrs. Becerra removed from the house?
That they were removed,
Yes.
they were removed. That I removed them, no.
Well, who removed them?
I don't know.
I don't know what's going to happen in this hearing, but I hate to tell you, Sandra, you have been revealed. You have shown yourself publicly. Your character is on full display for all the world to see.
Mr. Castillo, I cannot tell you who removed the items from there, but it certainly was not me. And I can tell you that that's not me in that picture, and I don't know who the other person is.
And how do you know that they were removed?
Because eventually I waited about maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and I went by there, and I would go by the property, and I noticed that the trash cans were empty and they had fallen, and the house appeared to be empty.
Okay.
The property appeared to be empty.
Okay. If the court would show the witness B9, the judge.
Court staff will prompt.
Are you looking at B9, Ms. Cardona?
Yes.
Do you recognize the person inside that garage?
No. Who is that? No, I don't know who that man is.
No, the person inside the garage, not the deputy sheriff or constable, but the person inside the garage.
English, do you speak it? Inside the garage, not outside the garage. I know it's intentionally conflating it, but stop it. You're not smarter than them.
I would not be able to tell you because I don't have a clear view of it.
Okay.
But I cannot say that it is my mother, and I cannot say that it's not my mother.
You're even getting hints here.
And the other individual, no, I don't know who that is.
Isn't it true, Ms. Cardona, that after the notice of eviction was given, that your mom's belongings were placed in the garage by you or someone in your household?
No, that is not accurate information.
Okay. You didn't put your mom's belongings in the garage?
There was already a lot of items in the garage, but that I personally got things and put them in the garage. No, I didn't, Mr. Castillo.
Okay. Now, if the court would prompt to B10, Judge?
Court staff will do so.
Do you see that document, Ms. Cardona?
Yes.
It says notice of list pendants.
Yes.
Okay, if the court can scroll down on the documents, please. Okay. Who is the claimant in that list pendants?
I show Juanita Becerra.
Okay. And who's the adverse party?
That is my name.
Okay. So if you scroll down a little further right there, do you recognize the signature there?
Yes, I do.
And who's the signature of?
Juanita Becerra, which again, Mr. Castillo.
By the way, elder abuse is so common. It is so common. What happens both from family members and just people preying on them, and then what goes on in nursing homes all over the place. It's brutal. It is brutal. Don't get old, people. That's all I'm telling you. Just die young. It's easier. Don't get married and don't get old.
My mother had already been diagnosed with dementia. And when I discussed this with you, when you represented me in another case, I mentioned to you that
What is the objection?
Becerra-
Sustained. Next question.
All I asked was, is that the signature? Do you recognize the signature? And you said yes, and that's your mom's, right?
correct. It
Okay.
appears to be hers, yes.
Right. Well, you were involved in that lawsuit, correct? That's the lawsuit that your mom filed against you.
Like I said, Mr. Castillo, when you asked me that question earlier today, my mother had already been diagnosed with dementia in 21. So who filed the lawsuit, I cannot tell you. But that I had to appear in court, yes, sir,
I do, in fact, speak from experience.
did. But the question would be that if my mother filed that lawsuit against me, my answer again would be, I don't know, Mr. Castillo,
If
because
we can scroll
there-
down to
dementia, Mr.
B11.
Court staff will prompt.
Okay, scroll down a little bit more. Okay. Look at right there. Who prepared that document? Can you tell? What does it say?
Law office,
Yes. Whose law office prepared that?
Juan Hernandez.
Okay. And that's the attorney that was representing your mom, correct?
I don't know, Mr. Castillo. All I know is that I went to court, but I don't even know who was representing. There were so many changes of attorneys, Mr. Castillo, I cannot recall.
I'm going to object to that question. My client lacks personal knowledge of this document, where it was signed or who it was signed by.
Understood, but she's answered it. But she answered truthfully. If she doesn't know, she doesn't know. Next question.
Yeah.
Okay.
She answered, it was dishonest, her answer, but she gave her answer and the attorney accepted it. What do you want? That's how it is. My next question be, did you ever open an estate? And were you ever appointed guardian for her because she wasn't able to make decisions for herself? Did you ever have her legally declared dependent? Because if you didn't, I want you to shut up about all this crap.
Now, on or around September 1 of 2025, do you recall obtaining physical possession of your mom from the house where she was with your brother, Alexander Becerra?
I don't understand the question, Mr. Castillo.
Okay, let me ask you first. You had a brother named Alexander Becerra, correct?
Correct.
And Mr. Alexander Becerra had custody, possession of your mom on or around August of 2025, correct?
I would not be able to tell you, Mr. Castillo, because after 2022, I knew nothing of my mother. For 3 years, Mr. Castillo, we were not able to see my mother. So I would not be able to tell you who had my mother, if there was a power of attorney, or what transpired during that time. So I could not answer that question for you.
Yeah, your mom was probably trying to avoid you because it was obvious you were out to get her. I'm not convinced she was had dementia at all. I mean, maybe, I don't know, I wasn't there. But that would also explain things.
Where did your brother Alexander Becerra live?
I don't know his physical address, but he lives in the Del Mar area.
Okay. Now your brother died August 7, 2025, correct?
I really don't know the exact date, when he passed, because like I said, Mr. Castillo, after 2022, after that physical assault, I never spoke to Alexander Becerra again, nor did I see my mother. So I don't know who had my mother, where my mother was living. I knew nothing of my mother, along with my other brothers and sisters. We knew nothing of my mother for
Did you,
3 years, Mr. Castillo. And I think you were fully aware of that, sir.
did you not take physical possession of your mother on or around September 1, 2025?
That I went to visit my mother at the hospital, that I took the opportunity. Yes, I did. So did another sister of mine, because we had not seen my mother in 3 years, Mr. Castillo. So that I went, yes. And upon arriving, Nora Villarreal was there. She left. We spoke very briefly. And as she walked out, she turned around and said, well, just be careful with mom, because once she goes around men, be careful with your husband and your children, your sons, because mom tends to undress herself. I don't know what that was meant to be or why she said that. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Mom's a predator cougar and she has dementia. Nobody believes anything you say, Sandra. Nobody with any brain believes anything coming out of your mouth.
Turned around, walked away. I didn't respond.
Cardona, I'm gonna stop you.
Oh, I'm
for
sorry.
a second.
Yes, I'm sorry, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
Well, stop. You spoke a very long time about many things. The question, as I understood it, was, did you take physical possession? I heard a lot of responses, but not to that. So I'm going to tell you one more time. If a question is improper because it's factually or legally improper, your lawyer will object, and she has, and she will, and I'll rule on it.
Okay.
But you need to listen very carefully to the question, answer it unless there's an objection. Do you understand this?
Yes, I do.
All right, Mr. Castillo.
Ms. Cardona,
This judge is no dummy. He's not buying any of her crap. None of it. None of it. He's just doing his crossword puzzle on the phone, waiting for this nonsense to get over with.
on or around December of 2025, did you have custody, physical custody, possession of your mom?
December 25. Yes. My mother was with me. Yes.
That was in December of 2025, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And on or around December 26th, you dropped off your mom at the hospital, correct?
No, that's incorrect.
When did you drop her off at the hospital?
I did not drop off my mother. I took my mother because she needed medical assistance. I was there with my mother until visiting hours were over. So I did not go and drop her off and leave. I was with her.
Oh, for Christ's sakes. Fine. If you don't like the characterization of drop off, you can say that, but you're trying to just lie about the whole thing. Everything is a lie. Everything is a lie and a misdirection. Yippee for you. If you stayed with your mother, you should. Just say that. You say, well, I took her to the hospital on this day, but I didn't drop her off. I stayed with her. Next.
And I visited her every day that my mother was in the hospital.
On December 26, 27, you visited with your mother at the hospital, correct?
The days before my mother was removed to another room, that is correct.
And at that time, you were taking care of your mother at your house, correct? Prior to entering that hospital.
My mother had been at a nursing home for rehab, and I had just brought my mother home with me.
Okay. And then
She fell ill, so I took her to the emergency room, and my mother was admitted for medical attention.
okay. And then did you have calls from the nursing staff regarding your mother?
Calls? No, I did not.
You didn't talk to a nurse?
I hope they did an autopsy on this woman. I really do. Based on what I'm seeing, I would not be shocked if Sandra had something to do with it.
Nursing staff about your mom?
Well, calls by phone? No. That I had interaction with the nurses at the hospital? Absolutely. Yes, I did.
Yeah.
In regards to my mother's care? Yes, I did.
Did they not tell you that she was ready for discharge?
Objection, hearsay.
Response, if any?
No, Judge, I'm asking if she had an opportunity to talk to the nurses, and so it's her personal knowledge whether she did or not, and what did they tell her? And
So,
what did you tell them?
sustained, don't tell the court what they said. If you have a personal opinion, you can give it to Ms. Cardona.
Judge, this is adverse witness, sort of like cross-examination. He's an adverse witness.
You may answer, Ms. Cardona.
What is the question? I'm sorry.
Let me rephrase it. Ms. Cardona, did the nursing staff at the hospital not inform you that your mother was ready to be discharged? Just yes or no?
No.
You never spoke to any nurse about your mother being ready for discharge?
No, that was not talked about because discharge planning starts on day one, date of admission.
When was she discharged from the hospital?
I don't know.
Why not?
When, I don't know when she was discharged from the hospital. I don't have knowledge to that. I'm sorry, Mr. Castillo. I don't have.
Because mom called one of her children that doesn't want to offer to get her out of there without her knowing about it. Oh my God.
An answer for you because I don't know.
But at that time, she was in your care. Were you not going to go pick her up and take her back?
Mr. Castillo, I went there one day. And like you said to me one day, poof, she was gone. She was not in that room. No one could tell me where she was. I had not seen my mother until my mother was at Retama South.
And when was that?
I don't know the exact date.
Somebody got her. If she was not in a place to take care of herself, which she probably wasn't, hospitals don't just willy-nilly dump people out of the hospital. This is stuff that this discharge planning is a major thing. They want to make sure that the person is handed off into a situation where they can be all right. So the hospital is on board with the fact that this woman is not the person to discharge her to. None of this is going well for her.
But it was recent.
So you didn't tell the nursing staff that you could not take your mother back because you had no financial resources or a place to take care of her?
Mr. Castillo, I own my property. I am retired. I have a home. I have a vehicle to transport my mother.
Is that the property that you that you scammed out of your mother when she passed? I bet it is. I bet that's what she's referring to. Oh my God.
So no, I never said that. What I said was that I would like to put my mother in a nursing home while I underwent some treatment.
So if the nursing notes say that you did tell them that you did not have financial resources or that you could take care of her, that's incorrect.
That is incorrect. That is incorrect.
That's the information they either got from you or decided from some third-party source because you were not cooperative. Those are the two ways that they would come to that conclusion. They're not pulling it out of thin air. I'll say it again. They are not playing around with discharge planning at a regular hospital. That exposes them to huge liability. They don't want a guy like me coming after them. They're smart. Trust me.
During that time, do you know if Adult Protective Service intervened regarding your mother's care at the hospital?
There was a young lady. I don't recall her name. I would probably have to go back and look at some notes. I don't have them with me at hand. But
And just for the record here, for someone who has a cold, I haven't seen any coughing, sneezing, or sniffling.
there was a young lady, and what I expressed to her was that Nora Villarreal had walked out September the 2nd of 2025, and I took my mother with me. I also went to the property where my mother was living, as you previously mentioned.
But vets, if you want to go nuts, I'm a big fan of Gibson's, but that's just old school, and that's got nostalgia for me. I don't know if those are both good. There are so many good ones. Literally anyone you pick. If it's been in business in this town for more than a couple of years, it's damn good. Otherwise, it won't last.
And there was no answer. I called the police, and there is a record of that. The police knocked on the door because I either was going to drop off my mother if my mother would be accepted there, or if she was not going to be accepted there, I needed her personal belongings, especially her medicines. My mother did not have medicines for 3 months. And that I conveyed to Nora Villarreal in a text message, which I still have.
Mrs. Cardona, earlier you testified that you did not know where your mother was, yet right now you just said you took the police to where she was.
Well, I didn't know where Nora Villarreal lived. And the last I knew, the last time I saw my mother, she was in the possession of Alejandro Becerra.
So you did know that she was at the house of Alexander Becerra.
No, that's not what I said, Mr. Castillo. What I said is that I went to that property. I rang the doorbell and there was no answer.
But why would you go to that house if you earlier said, I didn't know where she was residing? But then right now you said I took the police.
Well,
as this hearing started, I thought the attorney was too soft with her because it was clear to me that she's a liar. And I thought, why don't you hammer her? She's lying. And he knows she's lying. Now I see why. He's got just tons of goods on her and just thinks, I will just plod along just like a tank. I will just slowly move forward and all of her crazy will come out. I don't need to get into it with her. It will be obvious. And he's doing a great job.
I didn't know where Nora Villarreal lived, Mr. Castillo.
No, but you went to Alex Becerra's house, correct?
Exactly, I did.
Okay.
I did.
So you knew that your mother was, prior to that time, with Alex Becerra at his house, correct?
I cannot say that, Mr. Castillo, because I never went into Alejandro Becerra's house. I cannot even tell you what that house looks like because I've never been inside. I know where it is.
And you took the police there because...
No, Mr. Castillo, I went there, I rang the doorbell, there was no answer. I went back to my car, I called the police, I filed a report, which there's a report on that. The officer went to the door, there was no answer. I left and I took my mother home.
Now, what was the occasion for your mom having to go to the hospital in December of 2026?
My mother had complained of a little bit of shortness of breath, and she was starting with a little bit of cough.
And did she also have injury to her hand?
I believe she did.
Okay.
I believe she did because, like I said, my mother had dementia. My mother had a hospital bed. and my mother would climb out of the hospital bed. She would slide down to the very end, and I would imagine that she tried to get her hand in the rail to get down. And I'm going to say that she probably got her hand stuck there, but my mother didn't scream, didn't nothing. She didn't. And when I heard noise in the bedroom, because the door was always open, I went to check. And when I got her up into the wheelchair, I noticed her hand and I took her to the hospital.
Right. And that was while she was in your care.
That is correct, Mr. Castillo. And those are things that happen to people. That was nobody's fault. That was just an isolated incident that happened to my mother.
Okay. If the court can ask to show B13 and B14, Judge.
Staff will prompt.
Scroll down a little bit more, please. Okay, right. Ms. Cardona, is that your mom in the picture?
Oh, yes, that is my mother. Yes, it is.
Okay. And that's the injury?
Oh my God, this makes it even worse. Putting a face to the name of the woman she tried to steal the house from. She looks like a sweet old lady. Oh my God, this is not helping.
She suffered at your house?
Yeah, that is an injury that happened to her at my house. That is correct.
Okay. And the next picture, please, B14. A little bit higher. Or lower, I'm sorry, lower. Right there. Right there.
But it's just like when my mother when she was under Nora Villarreal's care, my mother fell and broke her hip and had surgery. Yes, accidents happen. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And I'll be very honest because
They happen even more when you're around for some reason.
Worked many
Ms.
years.
Cardona, I'm going to tell you one more time.
I'm sorry.
No, stop. Please. This is likely very important information that you're going to have an opportunity to tell the court, but you're responding to questions that haven't even been asked.
Yes, I apologize.
Wait for the question, please.
Ms. Cardona, you're asking to be appointed guardian of the person and the estate of your mom. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And who is Mrs. Becerra's doctor?
I don't know who her current doctor is.
You don't know her doctor's name?
No, I don't.
Did you have her evaluated for this guardianship?
Dr. Winder Vasquez was the last doctor that I had taken my mother to, but as of today, her present doctor,
Okay.
I don't know who it is. I don't know. In the nursing home, there's usually a medical director, and I don't know if the medical director is seeing her or she's still seeing Dr. Winder Vasquez. I would not be able to answer that question. But that my mother had seen Dr. Winder Vasquez for many years, yes, that is correct.
Now, as applicant in this proceeding, have you seen the healthcare provider certificate of medical examination?
What is that? I don't understand.
Have you seen healthcare provider certificate of medical examination that was filed in this proceeding?
Could you show me the form?
Yes, of course. A B19, please. Have you seen this form before?
Oh, yes, I have.
Okay. And you instructed your attorney to file this with the court in this proceeding, correct?
No, Mr. Castillo, I'm not an attorney. I've never practiced law, so I'm not qualified to instruct the attorney, Ms. Saldaña, what papers are needed or what forms are needed. No, that is incorrect.
Did you read
I did.
this document? Have you had occasion to read this document?
Yes,
Okay. And the doctor that signed this document, which is the healthcare provider certificate of medical examination, is
Mhm.
Dr. Winder Vasquez, correct?
that is correct.
Okay. And what does he say is the least restrictive placement that you consider is appropriate for the ward?
Well, I would have to look at the form again, Mr. Castillo. I think it's unfair that I answer a question when I haven't been able to view the whole document.
Okay, let me show you B20, please. B20. Okay, B20 at 10, number 10. Okay, can you read that, Cardona?
Yes, nursing home level of care. Yes,
So Dr. Vasquez is saying that the least restrictive placement that you consider is appropriate for the proposed ward is nursing home level of care, correct?
correct.
Where is she right now? Isn't she at a nursing home?
I don't know.
Oh, no?
No.
Okay. What efforts have you made to find out where your mom is?
Well, I've made a lot of efforts. I have contacted Adult Protective Services, Mr. Morin. I have contacted the ombudsman. I have contacted the nursing homes. I have called on several locations, Mr. Castillo, to see if my mother was in one of those facilities. I have made several attempts, not only I, but my two brothers and my other sister.
In fact, it makes it a lot easier if she's not in the house while I'm stealing it.
Are you aware that Nora Villarreal has a statutory durable power of attorney that your mom executed in appointing her as her attorney in fact?
Yes, I have seen the document.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe she's still alive. I thought she had died. It doesn't matter. This is even worse if she's alive somewhere and she doesn't know where she is. Oh my God. And by the way, in that picture, she looked injured because her hand looked injured and she was having, she was having clouding, so it was dark or whatever. But her face, she had light in her eyes. She looked, you can't evaluate from that, but she looked like she'd be a rational person.
So you are aware that Nora Villarreal has a power of attorney, correct? For your mom.
That is correct.
Okay. Now, Nora Villarreal also holds a medical power of attorney, correct?
Okay.
I'm not a
So she is alive, and this is her petition for guardianship? You've got to be kidding me. You want guardianship over somebody who you don't know where they are? That's chutzpah.
aware of that.
Okay. Were you not advised at the hospital that Nora Villarreal had a medical power of attorney?
No, I was not advised. I was advised of the durable power of attorney, but I was never advised of the medical power of attorney. No, I was not aware of that.
Okay.
That was by design.
Now,
I've only seen one other hearing with this judge, but I am confident. We've got a long way to go. There are lots of twists and turns ahead. I don't even know if I get a ruling. Zach could tell us, but I'm confident that this judge is not going to hand over this woman to Sandra. Name her guardian. I just don't, I can't see that happening.
When you're dealing with your mom at the present, do you receive her Social Security funds?
That is correct.
And since when have you been receiving the Social Security funds for your mom?
October of 25.
Okay. Did you go to how did you obtain those funds?
I went to the Social Security office, which is the only way to obtain them, Mr. Castillo.
Okay. And what did you tell at the Social Security office to get you to be the payee of the funds?
I cannot recall, and I would not want to give inaccurate or incorrect information, but that I took my mother personally, yes, I did.
And what have you done with the Social Security funds?
I paid my mother's copay for the nursing homes, and I have paid her attorney for the guardianship.
Which attorney did you pay?
Miss Aldana, which is the only attorney that I have seeked out for the guardianship.
Did you obtain permission from anyone to use Social Security funds for payment of attorney fees?
Yes, I did advise the Social Security office that I was going to file for a guardianship.
Yeah, you see, it's not up to them. It's not your money. That's conversion. It's not your money. These are the sorts of things you can do after you're named guardian, not before. Oh yeah, that's a problem. Look at the look at the judge's expression. He's thinking exactly what I'm saying.
For my mother, and that if it was allowed for me to use her funds and it was approved that I could use them to use, as long as the monies was not used on me, that I could use them for my mother to obtain a guardianship. That is correct.
It's not up to Social Security to give you authority to spend somebody else's money. She's lying. These conversations didn't occur, but if they did, it's irrelevant.
Okay. How much Social Security funds do you have in hand?
Well, I just gave a payment. There's about, I don't know. I would have to check the bank. I would not be able to give you a correct amount right now.
You made a payment to whom?
To the attorney.
And how much was that?
I don't recall, Mr. Castillo. I would have to get that from the attorney.
Oh, this attorney has got to be hurting right now. That's some sleazy stuff. Sleazy stuff. You do not want that on the record in open court. You sure as hell don't want it on Law Talk with Mike.
Okay. Is it $1,000?
Again, Mr. Castillo, I don't recall. I would have to get that information, a printout from the attorney.
How much were you charged in attorney fees to file this guardianship?
She forged a check. That's what she did. She forged a signature on a check. I don't see any other way she gets a hold of this money.
Again, Mr. Castillo, maybe Ms. Aldana could give you that information. I don't have it at hand.
You don't know how much you have to pay in attorney fees?
Objection asked and answered.
Best case scenario, and I highly doubt this, is that it's auto deposited into a joint account that she's also on, in which case you could have access to the money, but she still can't spend that Social Security money. It's not hers.
Now he's just passing.
It hasn't been answered, and I think that's the situation. Overruled. Ms. Cardona, if you know the answer, you should give it.
Oh, well, there was a retainer fee of $2,500. There has been payments of $1,000 and things like that. I think it's probably going to be about $10,000, more or less, give or take.
So you're using her Social Security monies to pay attorney fees?
That is correct.
Has a nursing facility asked you for monies to pay for her stay at the nursing home?
No, because I'm not the one that put her in the nursing home.
But don't you believe that those monies should be used for her nursing care?
Well, I believe that my mother's retirement money can be used to pay for my mother's care, which those assets have been liquidated by Nora Villarreal.
I believe that my mother's money can be used to pay for anything that I want. Yeah, that's the problem.
Well, what information do you have that they have been liquidated by Nora Villarreal?
Well, I'm going.
By the way, the judge is all over this, but you don't stop this like some Hollywood movie. He's just sitting back. You can see the way he's looking at it, but he's like, all right, just lay all this on the record. I may or may not drop the hammer on this situation later today, but I'm going to let the factual basis come right in and let the court reporter take it down.
To assume,
Well,
but I'm sure that we could request them from the bank,
okay, so you don't have any personal.
but they could be accurate at that point in time.
You don't have any personal knowledge, is that correct?
We could probably request, or the attorney could probably request them from Chase Bank.
You don't hold a medical power of attorney, do you?
What? I'm sorry, what?
You do not have a medical power of attorney for your mom.
Oh, you confused me because we were talking about the funds. No, I don't.
Did you inform the Social Security office that Nora Villarreal had a power of attorney for your mom?
Yes, I did. And their response to me was that they do not honor power of attorneys. They only honor representative payees, that they don't work with power of attorneys. And that I got from the Social Security office.
Did you get authority from your mom to go to the Social Security office?
Mr. Castillo, my mother has dementia.
Well, so you did not ask your mom?
I cannot answer that, Mr. Castillo. But what I can answer is that my mother has dementia, and my mother is very demented and very sick.
No, you're demented and sick. Your mother, I don't know. But that's not for a determination for you to make. That's a judicial determination that hasn't occurred yet. In fact, that's what we're here for right now. Oh my God, this is out of hand.
So is it appropriate at this time that she remain in the nursing home where she's at?
I am an advocate for nursing home placements. It's a wonderful facility. They take care of the people that are not able to care for themselves. I'm not against nursing home, Mr. Castillo. Actually, I'm for it. And I think it's neutral ground where everybody can go visit my mother. And I'm not looking for a lawsuit. I'm looking for the right to see.
Because my siblings aren't allowed at my mother's house now because I'm there. Eating a chalupa paid for by the Social Security Administration for her benefits.
My mother, not only for me, but for my sister and my two other brothers, Mr. Castillo. This is what this is about, a guardianship. And I filed for the guardianship, Mr. Castillo, so that we could see my mother.
Ma'am, are you a whore?
And right now, you're saying you don't know where your mom is? Which particular nursing home?
Mr. Castillo, you've asked me that question and my answer will remain the same. No, I don't.
Okay. That's the witness, Jimmy.
Cross-examination, Ms. Saldaña.
Your Honor. Ms. Cardona, if you recall, Mr. Castillo asked you at the start of this case about a lawsuit filed in 2022 with the style being Juanita Becerra versus Sandra Cardona, correct? Ms. Cardona? Ms. Cardona, can you hear me? Oh, do you need some?
Yes.
Okay. Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. Thank you. Yes, go ahead, miss.
Thank you. Do you recall the outcome of that lawsuit?
It was dismissed.
And do you know who requested to dismiss that case?
Nora Villarreal.
Was Nora Villarreal involved in the petition?
No, but she had the, I guess the power of attorney. I don't know, but it was conveyed to me through my attorney at that time that the court was over because Mr. Becerra had passed, which I was not aware of. I found out through the court that he had passed and that the court had ended.
Okay, thank you. Does the word non-suit sound familiar about that case?
I believe so.
Ms. Cardona, has your mom sued you for anything else?
No.
Have you ever sued your mom for anything else?
No.
Do you ever sue your mom for anything?
No, I have not.
Would the court please prompt, it says B7, please.
Court will prompt.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, can you see that document, Ms. Cardona?
Yes.
And it's a 3-day eviction notice that was signed by you, correct?
Correct.
And that is for a property located at Sandra Avenue, correct?
That is correct.
And who, according to this eviction notice, were you trying to evict?
Alejandro Becerra and Marta Saldívar.
What is your mother's name?
Juanita Becerra.
Are you trying to evict Juanita Becerra?
No, not my mother. No.
Okay. Now, if you look down to the middle of this document, it'll say reasons. And could you please tell us what those reasons were according to this eviction notice?
Given the option to pay rent, refused by the occupant. Option given to pay house taxes, refused by the occupant.
Okay, so evict everyone else and throw her in a nursing home. I mean, this is so transparent. It's ridiculous.
Assaulted by Alejandro Becerra and Marta Saldívar on 2/3/2022 at 7:06 Amber Police report on file.
Okay. And so again, your intent with this eviction was to evict Alexander Becerra and Marta Saldívar, not to evict your mother, correct?
Correct.
But your mother was living.
And it's so stupid because at the time she didn't own the house. So that eviction's going nowhere. She's just so stupid on top of all of it.
At these premises at that time, correct?
I believe so.
And what was your intention regarding your mother after this eviction were to take place?
Well, I offered to take my mother, and my brother refused, and he threatened not to let me see my mother anymore. And he kept to his promise because I had not seen my mother in 3 years.
Okay, so that eviction notice was from 2022, correct?
Correct.
And the assault was from 20.
Go brother. I don't know him, but you know, he's probably not perfect, but I'll bet he's better than her.
2022, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. And so you're stating that you're testifying that from 2022 for 3 years thereafter, you were not allowed to see your mom?
Correct.
Okay. When did is your brother still alive?
No.
When did he die?
Last year in August, I believe that's what the attorney told me. That he had
What does it sound right about August 7, 2025?
pretty much around there.
He died right after I made him a Moscow Mule.
Okay. And at that time, where was your mother? Was your mother with your brother?
I don't know, because since I didn't see her for 3 years, or any of my family members, no one knew where she actually was.
What happened to your mom? Where did she move to after your brother died?
Well, she came with me from the hospital state, and then she went to she declined in the hospital. She wouldn't walk, so she went into the nursing home for rehab, PT, OT, and speech. I brought her home for maybe a week, more or less, give or take. She complained of chest pain. I took her to the hospital.
Let me stop right there. Ms. Cardona, you said you brought her home. What date did you first take your mom to your home, if you remember?
In September of 25.
September 2025. Okay. September 2025, you ended up having your mom at your home. And for how long was she in your care and custody from September 2025 on?
September to December, when she ended up in the hospital again.
At the hospital. And that is the time near Christmas, near December 26th, that time period?
Yes.
Okay. While you had your mom's, I guess, custody of your mom, did you meet all of her medical needs?
Yes, my mother was, I took her to her appointments, to her doctor appointments. I took her to get lab work. She had some exams done to her lower extremities. Whatever she needed, I complied with it.
Now, did you take care of her emotional needs?
Yes.
And how did you do that?
My mother was, I had her engage in a lot of activities like coloring, because she does have advanced dementia, coloring, watching TV. My mother never stayed in bed. My mother was up and showered every morning. I got a lady to come in and bathe her.
Oh, sweet Jesus. What?
And get her up into the wheelchair, because my mother was no longer walking. My mother spent the whole.
She would do coloring and watch TV, which means nothing. Any parent knows. You just put them somewhere. And then the one thing that actually required work, she had someone else do.
Whole day engaging with me, my family, my sister.
That's if we believe her at all, which we don't.
My brothers.
There, so you would allow your family members, her other children, to visit with her when she was
absolutely. Her grandchildren, yes. Yes, all of us would be able to engage with her. And like, yes.
Let me ask you, how did your mom respond to having visitors, her family visiting?
Oh, she was very happy. We have a lot of pictures. She was very, very happy.
And would you put your mom in any sort of danger while in your custody or at any point?
No, my mother has never been in any type of danger. No.
And excuse me if I'm a Matlock fan.
Mr. Mr. Castillo asked you about the hospital stay. Now, you testified earlier that your mom had injured her arm, correct? Around December 20-something, 2025. Is that correct?
Yes, it was her finger. Her finger. Yes.
Now, as soon as you found out that she had injured herself, what steps did you take?
Oh, I took her to the emergency room immediately.
Okay.
That's me
Would you
surfing
have,
with my
so
flamingos,
at
damn
any
it.
point that she injured herself, did you wait
That's me surfing with flamingos in Honolulu over Christmas. Zoe.
days?
No. As soon as I saw that, I got her in the car. My husband and I got her in the car and we transported her. Keep in mind, my mother was not crying, yelling, or anything like that. But I saw that there was a deformity in the finger, so I took her to the emergency room.
Okay. Now, in Mr. Castillo says, or his client's motion in limine, he talks about you taking possession of your mom from Nora Villarreal. Is that accurate?
No, that isn't accurate. I have never forced anybody to do anything. The security came in from the hospital and said that Nora Villarreal had mentioned to him, well, when my mother's discharged, either one of them being myself or my sister Laura Guardiola, could take my mother because she was not coming back.
Okay. So when you got your mom in September 2025, how did you get her? Was she dropped off at your house? Did you pick her up somewhere?
In September, no. She was discharged to me from the hospital.
Okay. All right. So then, when you were at the hospital,
and I believe that the security made the nurse and the house supervisor aware of that comment that Nora Villarreal made to him. And the nurse notified the doctor. So the doctor released her to me. He asked me, who are you? What, are you a family member? Yes, I'm her daughter. Okay. And they did some exams on my mother and that my mother was going to be released to me if I was going to be able to take my mother. And I said, yes.
Okay. Now, how often would you visit your mom when she was at the hospital in December?
Every day.
Up until when?
Up until, oh my goodness, I cannot give you an exact date, but I just know that I went there one day and the next day, because I would go every day, and the next day my mother, that room was empty. So I called the social worker and she gave me a different room, which that room didn't even exist. So I called, I talked to the charge nurse and they directed me to the house supervisor. And that's when the house supervisor told me that Nora Villarreal had the power of attorney and that she was not at liberty to give us any information. And from then, I never knew any more of my mother.
So, Ms. Cardona, since Ms. Nora Villarreal had the power of attorney, would you have been able to take your mom after she was discharged from the hospital in December?
No, because I would not have had the authority to sign her into a facility or make any type of decisions for her.
Okay. Now, after she was released from the hospital, did you try to contact Ms. Villarreal, Nora Villarreal, to be able to see your mom?
Yes, and I believe she has me blocked on the phone. So
I didn't have authority to do any of that stuff, but what I did have authority to do is cash her checks and spend them as I saw fit.
After that, I never made any attempt because there's been so much animosity in the family that I did not want to stir up any trouble or anything.
So, Ms. Cardona, is it your testimony that Ms. Villarreal did not let you know where your mom was at after she was discharged from the hospital?
That is correct. And I visited my mother one time at Retama South. And the next day that I went to see my mother was gone.
And this was after she was released from the hospital?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, that was a pre-planned thing. Discharge planning was in on that. They had spoken to and evaluated the various family members, figured out the safest place for her to go, and intentionally did not tell her because they had the same perception as the rest of the family. That's the truth.
So basically, Nora Villarreal, who had the power of attorney, was the one who moved her to a different nursing home.
Correct.
Have any of your other siblings been able to visit your mom?
No, no one has. No one went to the nursing home for the same reason that there's so much animosity in the family.
But were they allowed to visit your mom?
No, I found out through the. Well, I reached out to every avenue that to try and find my mother.
Would the court please prompt?
I mean, I don't do probate. Maybe I'm missing something, but I would be horrified if my client got on the stand and said that they paid me with proceeds of their mother's Social Security check that they had absolutely no legal basis to spend. I would be horrified. I don't see how she can remain this calm.
Well, let me move on to another area here. Mr. Castillo also asked you about Adult Protective Services. Do you know why they were called? It was September 2nd, 2025. Do you know why they were called?
Mr. Morin came by my house. I would want to say on or about a day or two after my mother was with me. And I don't know. I guess Nora Villarreal called.
Who's Mr. Morin?
Mr. Morin is the Adult Protective Service work.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So you don't know why they were called?
No.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I have been appointed a GAL
now, you are aware that
for a situation that was not too dissimilar to this.
your mom is in a nursing, or at least that's what you've been hearing, that she's probably in a nursing home at this time, correct?
Correct.
If you were to be awarded the guardianship, would you continue to keep her in the nursing home?
Yes, because that's what's recommended by her physician. And I feel that all her children have a right to see her.
So then why would it be different if Nora keeps the POA and keeps her in a nursing home versus you being awarded the guardianship and keeping her in a nursing home?
Well, she doesn't allow us to see my mother.
And do you believe that affects your mother emotionally and physically?
Absolutely. She has isolated.
I also believe that affects her, and I believe it affects her in a good way.
My mother from her children, from her family.
Now, currently, Miss Nora Villarreal has a power of attorney, a medical power of attorney, and a statutory durable power of attorney, correct?
I believe she does.
Okay. And in your
GAL's guardian ad litem, and they just appoint it. So if somebody's either if they're not competent and they're for whatever reason, or if they're like a child, like they're 3 years old or whatever, and there's some legal proceedings going on, they just appoint an attorney and the attorney knows what should be happening, and then they just speak on behalf of that person, and that's it.
Your opinion and experience, has Miss Nora Villarreal been acting in your mother's best interest using her power of attorney?
No, actually, I feel that she has abused of her power to isolate my mother.
A, we don't care what you feel. B, I get it. It's your second language, but still learn how to conjugate. And C, nobody believes anything you say.
Because the only one affected here is my mother from her children.
Now let me ask the court, would you please prompt B34?
Court for prompt.
Okay, Ms. Cardona, can you read what this?
I don't know if I've never seen one that it wasn't in my career. This isn't what I focus on, but I've never that the whole point is to help them navigate a legal process. So it wouldn't make a lot of sense if they weren't.
This document is.
Revocation of declaration, guardian before the need arises.
Okay. Now, here it's, could the court please scroll up a little bit to show thank you. Thank you. Okay, now this document says, it, was effective July, okay, I'm sorry. This document is a revocation of a declaration of guardianship that was signed by your mom July 2020, correct?
Correct.
And if the court could scroll a little bit further up to show the names, thank you. And previously, your mom had designated Alexander Becerra and then as an alternate, Sandra Ramirez to be her guardian in the event a need would arise, correct?
Correct.
And Sandra Ramirez, is that you?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Now, could the court please scroll up again? I believe it might be on the next page. Okay, right there. Thank you. And Ms. Cardona, can you see who signed this revocation?
Nora Villarreal, attorney in fact for Juanita Becerra.
And if the court could please scroll up a little more again to show the acknowledgement a little more, please. Okay. And could you see the date that this was signed?
Oh, it's very 23 of 26. I cannot see the actual day, but I can see January 2026.
Yes. Okay. And by January 2026, had your mom already been diagnosed with dementia?
Yes, yes, Ms. Aldana, my mother was diagnosed in 20, on or about 21.
And in fact, we had filed an evaluation from a doctor that actually Mr. Castillo filed as well in case line as B19, where it diagnosed your mom also already as having dementia, correct?
Correct.
It stated that she could not consent to any agreements, correct?
Correct. Correct.
But yet, Nora Villarreal signed this revocation in January 2026 after, I'm sorry, would the court please prompt B19?
Full prompt.
Thank you. Would the court please scroll up a little bit? Okay, right there. Thank you. And according to this, Ms. Cardona, it states that Dr. Winder Vasquez last examined the proposed ward on December 24th, 2025, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
That would be an analysis of Ms. Cardona, I'm sorry, your mom, Juanita Becerra, December 24, 2025, which is before the revocation in January 2026, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. So, would you agree that Ms. Nora Villarreal signing this revocation designating you as the surviving guardian rather, that this signing of a revocation was not consented to by a lucid Juanita Becerra, correct?
Correct. My mother's not lucid.
And additionally, this signing of revocation designating you as the guardian, that is self-serving for Nora Villarreal, isn't it? Correct?
Yes.
Okay. So if Ms. Nora Villarreal is acting and signing documents that are self-serving, would you consider that to be her acting in your mom's best interest?
No.
Now, you testified that Ms. Nora Villarreal has moved her from already to at least 2 different nursing homes, correct?
Correct.
Do you believe that it is in your mom's best interest emotionally and physically or physically to move your mom around from one nursing home to another?
No, because she just gets very confused and then prompts her to get aggressive.
Now, do you believe that if you were appointed the guardian of your mother, that would be in your mother's best interest?
I believe so, because even including Nora Villarreal, she is her daughter as well. And I believe that everybody has the right to see my mother.
And do you believe it is in your mom's well-being that she's...
Absolutely.
If the court were to deny you and say that you are disqualified or that you lack standing to apply for guardianship, would you ask the court anything else if the court were to deny your application?
Yes, that the court allow us to see my mother, to visit my mother and keep my mother in a nursing home where it would be safe for everybody, because that would be a neutral ground and everybody would be able to see my mother, visit with my mother.
I pass those.
All right, the court will stand at ease momentarily and then we will resume. Stand by. Welcome once more. This is the probate, guardianship, and civil docket at Webb County Court at Law 2 for April the 7th, 2026. The time is now 5:20. The court is continuing within the matter of Juanita Becerra, cause number 2026, PB611L2. The court began this hearing at 3:38. Mr. Castillo called Sandra Cardona as an adverse witness. Then Ms. Aldana cross-examined her client. Any other questions, Ms. Aldana?
No, Your Honor.
Anything on redirect?
Yes, Your Honor. I have only a couple of questions.
Ms. Aldana, I'm going to ask that you unmute your device and begin your video.
Ms. Cardona. Ms. Cardona? There she is.
Yes, I'm here.
All right, Mr. Castillo, when you're ready.
Ms. Cardona, on questions by your attorney, you talked about the revocation of declaration of guardian before need arises. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Okay. You stated that Nora Villarreal revoked that declaration in January of 2026, correct?
Yes, that's what the paper said, yes.
And in reference to that, you said that your mom didn't consent to it, correct?
Well, I wasn't there, but that my mother is able to make cognitive decisions. She is not.
But do you know, and you saw the document, Nora Villarreal signed as attorney in fact for your mother under the power of attorney, right?
Correct.
You understand that she had a power of attorney and still has a power of attorney, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Then I'm going to, you're not an you don't have experience in interpreting legal documents, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Then if the court would,
I think about 20 minutes.
show her Judge B26.
Court staff will prompt.
Okay, scroll down, please. Okay. B26. Yes. Scroll down where it says, middle of where it says, choose one of the following alternatives. Okay, right there. Ms. Cardona, are you looking at B26 right now?
Ms. Cardona, please unmute your device.
I'm sorry. Yes, I'm here.
Okay. looking at B26 in the middle of the page where it says, A, this power of attorney is not affected by my subsequent disability or incapacity. Do you see that?
Yes,
And your mom signed the power of attorney giving Nora Villarreal authority to do things, even if she was incapacitated through the power of attorney, correct?
if that's what you're telling me it says, like you just stated, I'm not able to interpret this because I don't have any legal or background.
Okay. So when you said she didn't give consent, you don't know whether she had legal obligation to give consent or not, correct?
That would be correct. But what I said was that my mother's not cognitively able to make any type of decisions anymore, which is different as to what you're asking me.
Okay. And under the power of attorney, well, when you went to the Social Security office, you knew that Nora Villarreal had a power of attorney, correct?
That is incorrect. I did not.
When did you learn that she had a power of attorney?
I learned that at the hospital in December.
You told them that Nora had the power of attorney, correct?
Correct. Like I said, that was in December when I found out that Nora had the power of attorney.
What you're saying, your testimony today is that when you went to the Social Security office, you were not aware of the power of attorney.
I was not aware. I was aware of Alejandro Becerra having the power of attorney. And when I went to the Social Security office, I told them that I believe there was a power of attorney of my brother, Alejandro Becerra, that had passed away. And the response to me from them was, well, we don't honor power of attorneys. We don't work with that. We work with representative payees. That is what I said to you earlier.
Okay. And so you don't have any knowledge of what the legal impact is of the power of attorney and the medical power of attorney in this case, right?
I don't know exactly what you're asking me.
Well, you don't have any legal training, you already stated, so you don't know the legal significance of the medical power of attorney and the statutory durable power of attorney, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Pass the witness, please.
Anything on recross, Ms. Aldana?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Cardona,
Yes.
the revocation of the designation of guardianship was signed January 2026, correct? According to what you saw earlier.
Yes. Correct.
And you testified that you had your mom at your house from September 2025 to December 2025, which is before the revocation was signed, correct?
Correct.
During that time period, did your mom ever talk about revoking the guardianship?
No.
Did she mention anything about guardianship issues?
No, she did not.
What was her relationship with you during that time period?
Oh, my mother was, we've always had a very close relationship. My mother, when she was well, she would come over to my house.
From September?
Almost on a daily basis.
From September 2025 to December 2025, what was your relationship like during that time period?
It was very good. She was very calm. She was adapting very well. I took her to her doctor's appointments, and I tried to find things for her to engage. And I believe the Adult Protective Services made 2 visits to my home. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And how did those visits result?
They went well. Actually, they went well.
When you say my home, are you referring to your mother's home? That's my only question.
There was nothing that was found. I don't know what they were looking for, what he was looking for, or anything like that. But he was one of the times that my mother went, that the representative from Adult Protective Services went, my mother was in the kitchen, and another time she was in the living room on a recliner watching, I think Price is Right or something like that, some show on TV.
Thank you, Ms. Cardona. Thank you. I pass the witness.
Anything else for this witness, Mr. Castillo?
No, Judge.
Who is your next witness, if any?
We don't have any other witness, Judge. We rest.
Ms. Alana, do you have any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Castillo, closing, what your client is requesting and what evidence supports that position. Go ahead.
Judge, we're objecting to the applicant, Sandra Cardona, being appointed guardian of the person in the estate of Juanita Becerra, because she has a conflict, adverse interest and a conflict in this guardianship. On March 29, 2022, Mrs. Becerra sued the applicant in the 49th District Court for fraud upon the execution of a deed and also for eviction from her house. And the evidence shows that those pleadings were verified by Juanita Becerra as being true and correct. She had personal knowledge. She was telling the court that she had been defrauded.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't own the house. Just people don't want to deal with her and don't want a bunch of drama, but she does not own the house. She doesn't have title to it. What will be fun is that when somebody else gets named guardian and then they decide to evict her from the house, which is what needs doing. That should be fun.
The gift deed, and then also by the eviction from her own house. We have, to those just by themselves are enough to warrant denial of her application.
Yes.
There's no other evidence presented to.
Yes, they are actively trying to actually make sure mom's okay for the rest of her life, and then they'll deal with her.
Dispute that. Then there's no need for a guardianship because there are alternatives to guardianship which are already in place. On July 1st, 2020, Ms. Becerra executed a medical power of attorney appointing her son, Alexander Becerra, who subsequently died, and the alternate is Nora Villarreal. She is the move-in here. She has succeeded as agent, and on January 26, 2021, she executed a statutory durable power of attorney also for Alexander Becerra as her agent. After her passing, the alternate is Nora Villarreal, the move-in here. Those are the alternatives to a guardianship. There is no need for a guardianship. There's also evidence that what she did by going through the Social Security Administration and obtaining funds that belonged to her mom and using them for payment of attorney fees without first getting the consent of anyone, much less, especially after she knew of a power of attorney by Nora Villarreal. Those are bypassing the ward's best interest. The evidence showed that even though she disputes it, but at the hospital, there is evidence that she took her and then didn't want to and didn't release her except to Nora Villarreal. And she is presently in a nursing home. The evidence, their own evidence on the health care provider certificate of medical examination, Dr. Winder Vasquez states that she has dementia and that it would be in her best interest to be placed in a nursing home, which she is. So she has a power of attorney already through Nora Villarreal, medical power of attorney, and through the testimony of their own document that has been provided to the court to support their application. The less restrictive area is a nursing home. So for those reasons, Judge, there is no need for a guardianship. And if there is, this applicant, Mrs. Sandra Cardona, is not qualified and should be disqualified. And it's not in the best interest of the ward.
Ms. Alania, same instructions. Closing, tell the court what your client is requesting and what testimony supports that position. Go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is requesting to be allowed to proceed with her application for guardianship of the proposed ward, her mother, Miss Juanita M. Becerra. If the court denies that application or permission to proceed with that application, she is asking to, at the very least, that she and her siblings be allowed to visit her mother at the nursing home or anywhere that she's located, and to be allowed to know where the mother is going to be at. Mr. Castillo, for his attorney, has not proven that my client should be disqualified. The client, Ms. Nora Villarreal, is claiming that there is a conflict because the mother, Juanita Becerra, sued Ms. Cardona, Ms. Sandra Cardona, in 2022. However, that same case was not suited by the petitioner, who was Ms. Juanita Becerra. So she did not proceed with that lawsuit, dismissed it on her own. As far as an eviction, the eviction notice that was filed by Mr. Castillo showed that it was clearly trying to evict the brother, Alexander Becerra, and his partner, Marta Saldivar, I believe it was. But nowhere in that eviction does it say that mother was to be evicted. In fact, she was making arrangements to try to get her mom, even at that time. As far as POA, that there's no need for guardianship because of a POA that Ms. Nora Villarreal already has. My client has testified that Ms. Villarreal has acted against the proposed ward's best interest. She has moved the mother at least to two different nursing homes. She has kept the family from seeing the mother. And my client also testified that the mother did in fact enjoy getting visits from her other children and even grandchildren, which now Ms. Nora Villarreal is denying. So Ms. Nora Villarreal has not been acting in the best interest of the proposed ward. Additionally, Ms. Villarreal has blocked my client from calling. Additionally, she has Ms. Nora Villarreal attempted to revoke Ms. Juanita Becerra's designation of my client as the guardian when she did not have any lucid consent from the mother. And it was after we had filed this case. Additionally, though the POA may have started regardless of incapacity, my client did have a good relationship with the mother during that time period before the revocation, immediately before the revocation between September 2025 and December 2025. There's nothing that indicates that she would have a reason, Ms. Becerra would have a reason to revoke the guardianship, which again, she already has designated Alexander first. Becerra, however, he passed away, so now it's Ms. Sandra Cardona. As far as Social Security funds, Ms. Cardona did not, as she testified, know that a POA existed. She took her mother to the Social Security office around October 2025 and didn't find out, as per her testimony, about the POA until December 2025. And as far as the hospital not releasing the mother, Ms. Juanita Becerra, to my client, that again is because my client did not have a POA. It was actually Ms. Nora Villarreal who had the POA. And my client was not able to take her mother out of the hospital and either to a nursing home or her home. As far as the nursing home being in the best interest of the client Ms. Juanita Becerra, as the doctor recommended, my client is in agreement with that recommendation. The biggest difference would be, again, that Ms. Villarreal during this entire time has not allowed any of the mother's children or grandchildren to visit.
Yeah.
Ms. Sandra Cardona would allow visits to resume, which would be in the mother's best interest. So for those reasons, my client is asking that the court approve, allow her to continue with her application for guardianship. And at the very least, regardless of the outcome, that she be allowed to, she and her sisters and brother be allowed to visit the mother. Thank you.
I guess I have some questions. But the first question, Ms. Aldana, clarify this for the court, because I think in closing you said that Ms. Cardona, at the time she went to the Social Security office, she did not know that a power of attorney existed. However, she said repeatedly that Social Security officers or employees or agents told her that they gave no weight to that document. So just as a matter of fact, as provided in testimony at the time that she went to Social Security, she did in fact know, otherwise they wouldn't have made that statement, no?
I don't know. I can't speak for the Social Security. That would be speculation on my part.
But you can speak for her client who testified here that that's what they said.
Well, if that's what they said, then that's what they said. But I don't know the reason for them saying that. Maybe that's what
I'm not asking for the reason. You said she didn't know. How can she not know if they're telling her they give it no weight unless she told them that it in fact existed? Put your hand on, Ms. Cardona. I'm asking your lawyer. She's the one that made the statement.
Yes, I made the statement because my client stated that she did not know until December. She stated that she went to the Social Security office in October. So I have no other information on why the Social Security would make that statement.
Right. The next question, Ms. Saldana. I think you just pled, I think orally to the court, you asked in the alternative that if the court were to grant the motion in limine, in the alternative, you're asking that the court somehow allow visitations or visit between Ms. Becerra and Ms. Cardona and perhaps others. And I did hear that repeatedly from Ms. Cardona, that what she really wants in this case is to visit. I didn't hear a lot of best interest standards from Ms. Cardona. The court heard many requests to visit. So let me ask you this, since you asked for this in the alternative, if the court, capital I, capital F, if the court were to grant the motion in limine, then what procedural vehicle is there? In other words, that's the remedy she's asking for. What cause of action gives Ms. Cardona the ability to make that request?
Well, because Ms. Nora Villarreal is stating that she is in a good position to continue to be a POA, an agent, in fact, for the mother. However, she has been denying visits to all of the children. So in order to actually follow through with
She's more of a POS.
With her fiduciary duty, she should allow her family to visit mom.
So I understand the facts, and the facts can or may be in dispute. I've heard sufficient testimony here to make some evaluation, but my question isn't to the facts. My question is on the law. Legally, if the court grants the motion in limine, what vehicle is there? What cause of action has been pled and proven here that would allow the court to grant your client the relief she's asking for?
Really, at this point, I would ask for an admonishment to Ms. Villarreal that if my client
you don't get an admonishment unless you make the request legally, and that's my question. Let's say I agree with you for 1 second.
That's embarrassing.
What has happened here? What have you pled? What has Ms. Cardona testified that would allow the court to do that? In the alternative,
an admonishment.
An admonishment is not a cause of action. That's what I do. That's what I do. I admonish. My question is, what have you done and what has your client testified to that if I agreed with that position, I could do that legally?
Right. All I know I don't have a cause of action. It would just be the admonishment that if she does not, then we will come back and have to have filed a lawsuit.
Asking for an admonishment is an admission that you don't have anything on file to do anything. So you're just saying, I want you to say it. It's so embarrassing. So we're down to the alternative relief here, but he doesn't have any basis to grant her visitation rights. I get where the judge is coming from. To who? For what? On what basis?
Against her.
Right,
And if that's not an option, then I would again urge that my client's application remain alive.
You'd expect more for 10 grand of sweet Social Security money that isn't yours.
It's one of those things. It happens every now and then. The decisions the court makes, I sometimes disagree with, and sometimes I don't. But none of that matters because I just have to do whatever the law says should happen in each and every single case, based on the evidence and testimony. And there's sometimes, like in the situation where if a child wants access to their parent, I certainly understand that. But the court has to exercise judicial restraint and just do solely, strictly what the law says based on the evidence and testimony. In cause number 2026, PB 611L2, the court grants the motion in limine in full. These are the orders of the court. The orders are due to the court honor before
April 27th at 12 noon by submission.
Ms. Cardona, Ms. Villarreal, I wish you both very well. More importantly, I wish your mother all the best. Everyone have a good day. You're excused.
My God, I don't even know what the hell they mean by that. I'm confused on the procedural posture of this. They grant the motion in limine. The motion in limine is brought by the attorney. I mean, I think this means she loses, but it's just weird. It's not what I would expect. I don't do this, but what I think they're saying is they filed a petition in limine saying she can't be it, and the judge granted it, meaning she cannot be the guardian. Like the right thing happened. But it's just procedural. It's strange. We're okay. So what procedurally I'm gathering, I'm just watching this the first time. What procedurally I'm gathering is that she filed a petition to be appointed guardian. In opposition to that, the sister, but the male attorney files a motion in limine saying she should not be considered eligible to be guardian. Because she's sleazy as hell. The judge grants that, meaning she can't be guardian, which blows up her petition to be guardian. And there we go. And I would be less than comfortable having on the record that my client testifying that they paid me in illicit funds. I don't know if that'll ever be addressed or not, but I would not like that. Nonetheless, I think the right thing happened here. All right, there you have it. There you have it. Thank y'all for coming out. I appreciate it. I knew that one was a little bit longer. I tried to soften it up with a heartwarming intro from Brecken. Grandpa who wants to keep driving, though he obviously can't. Thank y'all for coming out. That was fun. I'll see y'all soon.